Hi, I'm Vina Ip, blogger of propertysold.com. I have a lot of readers who ask me, is it a good idea to buy near MRT station? Let's try to answer it in this podcast. I'm going to cover 3 things: the new Jurong Region Line, the 3 factors to consider, and whether the building of a new MRT station will increase the value of the property. You know, this Wednesday, our Transport Minister announced a new MRT line, Jurong Region Line. It's going to link up Choa Chu Kang, Boon Lay, Jurong, and the new Third Eye area. You're going to be ready in 3 phases starting from 2026. I've been staying in Choa Chu Kang for the last 11 years. It's a quiet estate. You can hear the sound of birds, breathe fresh air, and also have the unobstructed view of the blue sky. We're just afraid that the opening of a new MRT line will intrude on open spaces with those unsightly construction sites and MRT exit, and our open view will be obstructed by the MRT tracks. For the block 303, where you have all the shops, this space is going to be acquired by the government to build the new MRT line. And then our favorite bakery shop, you have a food court run by the social enterprise, and also the luxury outlet from Singapore Pools are going to be closed down by end of November next year. There will be another 19 small plots of land with no buildings on it being acquired by the government. We just hope that it won't be near our home. Just a handful of these new MRT stations will be residential areas. The rest of them will be industrial parks or nature reserves. So you can imagine many of the stations will be underutilized and empty most of the time. Our Transport Minister is saying that the new MRT track is going to build above the ground. He said that there will be inconveniences and headaches for many years to come. He also mentioned no pain, no gain. Next, let's look at the 3 factors that will affect our decision to buy near the MRT. We call it LRT: location, residence, and timing. We have 7 MRT lines in Singapore: North South, East West, North East, Circle Line, Downtown Line, Thomson-East Coast Line, and the new Jurong Region Line. We have 7 MRT lines, 30 interchanges, and 170 stations in this little red dot. And the government is saying that by 2030, 80% of households in Singapore will be a 10 minutes walk to any station. So it's almost impossible not to stay near to any MRT exit. So is advertising a property near to any MRT station still a selling point? So remember, not all MRT stations are built equal. It depends on how many stops it is away from the CBD, how long it takes to reach a popular workplace or a shopping area, and how many lines to change and how many stops to take in order to reach where you want to go. You wouldn't want to stay too close to an MRT station because you want to avoid the crowd, especially during the peak hours. And you don't want to be staying too close to an MRT track because people will be looking into your house and you're losing your privacy. And because of the noise pollution as well. Because if you can see it, you can hear it. The second factor is resident. It's you and your family's preferences. What's your character and what kind of neighborhood you like? If you're not driving, you don't want to do too much walking, of course you want to buy near to the MRT station. But if you're a private person like me who are very annoyed with big crowds and strangers who will pay more for privacy, tranquility, and exclusive place, you might want to consider not staying near to the MRT station. Another thing is, if you are buying for investment, it depends what you're looking at for a tenant's profile. A good location for you is very different from a good location for your tenant. If you're looking for expatriate tenants who have a very good budget, under communities can stay for a longer contract, or those who are provided with company car, then staying near to MRT is not a must. You know, staying near to a train station, the market, or hawker center, it actually provides conveniences of an ordinary Singaporean, but it doesn't fit the lifestyle of an expatriate. The third factor is timing. After the announcement, developers and sellers will have immediately jacked up on the prices, thinking that the home buyers will buy into the hype. If you don't want to pay a premium well in advance, wait for the news to be digested and the heat to cool down first. If you don't want to suffer the inconveniences of construction, traffic congestion, noise, and air pollution, wait for the dust to settle first. Because the construction work will continue well into the night and even weekends as well. If you buy too early, you suffer as an owner or a landlord. The construction is so messy that no prospective buyer or tenant will come to view your place, and your friends and relatives are reluctant to visit you. It takes a few years to build the MRT stations and MRT line. Even after it is built, it may take some time for it to open. In between, you have ample of time, so take your time to buy at a bargain, especially during a downturn. Ideally, you should buy before the opening of the MRT station because by then, prices will go up again. The third thing we want to look at is, can new MRT stations increase the value of properties nearby? We talk about three things over here. Remember this. First, it may or may not be true. In 2016, 99.co has done a study to compare the transaction history of properties near 70 new MRT stations 5 years before and after opening of the stations. The conclusion is, the opening of MRT stations causes only a slight increase in property price relative to the national average, but it is hardly a reliable indicator for the growth in prices of nearby properties. The second thing to take note of is, remember that this is only a short-lived surge. When government announced the building of Downtown Line 2 in 2009, speculation in the hot property market immediately drove up the cash over valuation of HDB flats in Bukit Panjang from 25k to 40k. The developers also launched a lot of condos near the future Bukit Panjang station, asking for premium prices. In 2011, the Far East Tannery was sold within 1 year at launch price of 1,200 per square foot. 2 years later, CDL launched a much bigger project called Hilton Residences directly above Bukit Panjang interchange, more convenient, more popular. So the lesson we learned is, there's no need to rush in. Developers, they will continue to build. The Downtown Line is finally completed at the end of 2015. In November, SRX figures show that the resale market value and rental HDB flats in Bukit Panjang, they are still under the national average. For private properties, the gross rental yield for leasehold properties back then in 2015 is 3.5%, but the yield of leasehold properties for private ones in Bukit Panjang is still 3.2%. The last thing to take note of is, it must coincide with a property boom. It shows that property prices in a proximity may have short-lived surge reacting to the news of announcement of a new development plan, especially during the property boom. But prices will still drop together with other properties in other districts in a buyer's market. By the time the infrastructure have already completed, the convenience of situated near to the MRT station may have already been reflected in the raised prices. So whether prices can come higher depends very much on the market sentiment at the time and also performance of the property market. If you're interested to buy near to MRT stations, take note of all the advantages and pitfalls and time your purchases strategically. Make sure that you have the holding power to hold the property for a long time. Before I go, I would like to ask a small favor from you. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!